error occurred. Let's try that again. Let's go live. And we are live. If,
Yo.
if you are like me, you're wondering why are four very talented, respectable authors like these ladies on this show. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know why they're here. But they're slumming with me tonight, so we're going to have all kinds of fun and make lots of ridiculous decisions. So I think everybody probably knows who you are, but let's go ahead and go. Jackie, tell us who you are and why you're here.
I am Jacqueline Hagen. I am the author of the Riverfall Chronicles. I am here because I am in desperate need of strange creatures for book 5 in the series, which I am currently writing. So I'm excited to get some ideas and come up with something wild. So thank you for inviting us all here, Mike.
Before we continue, I just want to say that the bad boy of Twitter is here. His account has been banned because, that's the way he rolls. But hey, he's here and we're not going to make judgments on Tim. But we have the Timocracy here, so all is good.
Fantastic.
Katie, I don't think you need to, tell us who you are, but please do.
I mean, I will. So I am K.E. Andrews, or Katie, author of several books. Poetry, Hills of Heather and Bone, The Assassin's Crimson Secret, and most recently, Wild Skies, a fantasy western novella. And I'm here because I want to make a fun creature for a book. I don't know which book, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeehaw dragons, Katie. Yeehaw dragons.
I'll probably put it in there.
Okay, RK, who is our master artist, no less.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I am the alleged author of Arrival Most Vile and The Stray Spirit. I have just finished hooking up my Cintiq to see if I can draw this as we're talking about it. Truly, I almost never draw animals, so I can't make any promises. This could look like a 5-year-old did it, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do here.
And last and certainly not least, When Raven is here. Tell us about yourself. And sorry, I should not.
Hey, I'm Lind.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I'm Lind. I'm the author of Master of the Void and Creature of the Void, the first 2 books in a planned 3-part series. It's a epic coming-of-age fantasy story, with book 3 scheduled to come out in 2026 if I can keep myself disciplined. And I'm here because this is what authors love to do in our spare time: make up weird stuff and tell people about it.
Awesome. That's the best response I think I've ever got. So who would like to go first and pick from one of these 6 categories? Wen, how about if you go?
Okay.
A man who would not come on our show, but
Morgan!
The fame and fortune of Spiffbo 9 is still, he's still running with that. So anyway, Wen, pick a category and then pick what.
Okay.
Where, you can pick any of the 6. What do you want this creature, one of the factors to be?
Okay. I will take active time for 500.
Okay.
Let's do moon only.
Moonlight only.
Moonlight only. Alrighty.
What is that? What does everybody else think about that? Do you want to outvote me, or do you like that?
Nope, that's
I
fantastic.
like it.
Everybody gets to pick one. That way you spread the blame around.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Okay, we're just going to go up. Since we went down to introduce everybody, we're just going to go up the ladder this time. So what would you like to pick?
I'd love a weakness for 200, Alex.
Okay.
I'd really like to do holy water just because I like the idea of someone defeating it with a super soaker.
I love that.
I like it. Okay, Katie, and remember, what you don't pick, I'm going to pick for you, so I can try to really mess things up.
Okay.
Right,
well, I'll take terrain for 200.
Okay.
I don't know. Salt water and holy water sounds like it'd be a fun combination. So we're gonna do salt water.
Fantastic.
Okay, awesome. And Jackie, you have size, its strengths, or its diet.
Okay, I'm gonna go with size.
And how big is this?
And we went with saltwater. I'm in between tiny and small.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Tiny, small. And you get to pick the size.
Okay, let's go with tiny.
Great.
So we got some comments here. I'm going to try to. EL is telling you the diet. And Morgan in a lamp like.
Morgan.
That's what it'll be. It'll be like the Spiffbo universe monster.
Fantastic. Morgan, I'm going to draw this as badly as possible then, and you have to use the art in the book. That's how the rules go.
Oh, I should mention that the guy who does all of my fantasy covers, I usually send this to him and he'll draw it for me.
Oh, wonderful. So you'll get a bad version and a good version.
And I talked to him and I was like, what if these people are silly enough to actually use this in their book? He's like, as long as they credit me, they can use the art for free.
Wow.
So keep that in mind. I want to see these creatures in fantasy and then have people go, were they on acid when they came up with this thing? So for me, I have to pick strengths and diet. I think we're going to roll for diet. I have a 4-sided die. 3. It is an herbivore.
Oh.
Got it.
That's okay. It doesn't mean it can't be poisonous. And then strengths, I get to pick. What do I want to give you? I think I'm going to give you sonic abilities. And don't ask me what that means.
It's like, the mantis shrimps.
Like echolocation?
Yeah, something like that. Like, can't dolphins do that to things and stun them and then eat them?
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. There's also the well, maybe that's different. It's like the little shrimp that
the pistol shrimp
claw down so hard
Yeah.
maybe that's it. I think it heats up the water, so it just boil. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So whatever
This
sonic
is
ability
up to our interpretation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, talk it out amongst yourselves. You have a saltwater creature that is tiny, not tiny to small. Is that right? So it is
Tiny.
How tiny?
mouse size, mouse to rat. I don't know.
So like a toad or a frog size. Yeah.
It lives in the salt water. It has sonic abilities. Its weakness is holy water, which how will it know if it's in salt water?
Exactly.
It makes it really hard to kill, actually.
It's an herbivore, and it's only active in the moonlight. So what does this thing look like? How does it move? Have 3 mouths.
I see really big eyes.
Big eyes.
Like huge.
He said mouse, and honestly, an aquatic mouse creature sounds fun. I don't know why, but big eyes.
And maybe, I don't know, the sonic thing, maybe big ears too. I don't know.
Got him. Yep. Very correct. Is it just like a mouse with swim floaties?
It could be.
That just likes night swimming? Hold on. How do I
maybe it's got webbed things under its arms like a frog?
So EL says what you're saying about Jesus in the ocean. Okay. Dan, it makes annoying cricket noises. Angry.
Is this
buffalo.
an amphibious mouse? Or does it live in the water all the time?
Is it? Yeah.
It could be both. I don't know.
That's a great question.
Morgan, come on.
It'd be fun if it lived in the tide pools, and maybe it's like an otter or a seal kind of thing where it spends most of its time.
Actually, I love the tide pool idea.
Okay.
Who knows enough about tide pools to know how that lines up with moonlight?
Maybe it just wouldn't go in the tide pool during a full moon.
I gotta change my drawing. I drew the ocean. Hold on.
Draw tide pools, okay.
I don't know. I mean, tide pools are connected to the ocean. So.
Tide pools. Got it.
So it's an herbivore. What does it eat? Is it eating coral? Is it eating algae? I don't know what else other options you have, really.
There's
I
like
mean,
algae that they
There's
grow
seaweed.
on the rocks. Wow.
Is sea
Forgot the
sponge a
word.
living thing? Is that I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a
That's a
plant.
living thing.
Okay, I didn't
But
know if it was a
there's,
plant.
Is a sea cucumber a vegetable?
That's a
the
good question.
sea animal.
It
Yes.
eats that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it eats coral. That sounds like a nice crunchy snack.
Crunch, crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Wrap it in
It's
some
the really
seaweed.
gross seaweed that washes up into the tide pools,
No,
and it's
like
covered
with
in,
iceberg?
goopy sea foam.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
The stuff that gets stuck to your legs when you try to adventure in there.
Oh.
All right. Do we determine that it's a mouse that lives on land but visits the tide pools, or is it a mouse that lives in the tide pools?
I was going to say you're going with mouse. It's not going to have fins. It's going to have regular feet.
I mean, it
Well,
could
I
have
think-
fins.
Web,
like
It
a
could have
mouse.
web feet.
A mouse
What
frog
mouse?
hybrid.
Mouse frog
Yeah.
hybrid, yeah. So it
Mouse.
doesn't. Maybe it's got. I
Mog.
don't know.
Frog.
it has webbed feet,
Mouse.
but then it has like webbed armpits.
I like that. And maybe
like
its
flying
tail's like a dorsal fin or something.
Yeah, it's got a fin on the tail.
Okay.
But whiskers too.
Oh yeah.
Webbed whiskers.
Whatever the sea lions have. I
I'm
don't
still
know.
googling mouse, you guys.
Like a tiny sea lion, exactly.
Yeah, like a tiny sea lion.
Sea lion, mouse,
Okay,
frog
so like,
with webbed armpits.
So
yeah,
if it's a sea lion, does it have flippers then, or does it have front paws with
I
fingers?
still like the web paws. That seems cute.
So
Yeah.
because
Okay.
if we're going with sort of amphibious, what if it lives? You know how like the tide pools are always in those real craggy rocks at the edge
Mm.
of the ocean? What if it lives in caves, like tiny mouse caves, in the tide pools, and the only time it comes out is in the moonlight when the tide pools are full of sticky seaweed?
Oh, I like that.
So Paul Walker is saying you're making a platypus.
Basically. Except for it's
Platypuses
non-venomous.
Also, like cursed animals,
Mm.
Oh,
Maybe
maybe
it
it
is
could live in.
venomous. We don't know yet.
Maybe it could live in seashells like a hermit crab when it needs to avoid the moonlight.
Maybe
Oh. Okay. Okay. Wait, hold on. I'm lost now. So it's a mouse with big eyes, big ears, webbed stuff. Also sea lion, lives in a shell.
where did
Yeah,
that
got
come
it.
from?
Go.
Oh no, the shell was just a random idea because it was like, well, shells are in the tide pool, maybe. And it's like, well,
Okay.
does it go out, like, you know?
It also apparently
Oh no,
has
it's not adverse
lycanthropy.
to moonlight. Okay.
So in RK, I wouldn't say
Sorry,
get
I
too
misread
started
that.
because we're about to throw in a couple monkey wrenches here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jackie, can you pick a number between 1 and 12?
10.
10 is, let's see, 12, 11, 10. Oh, that means we take a suggestion from the peanut gallery.
Oh God.
You
Morgan,
don't
be
want to
kind.
choose 10. So what do we think for, let's see, we got giant radar ears, giant tusks. These are suggestions from the peanut gallery. If you have more, bring them out.
Oh, we get to pick from the suggestions?
Yeah, they don't have to be good suggestions.
Oh,
I mean, they can be mean to you.
I don't know. I mean, could it be tiny tusks because it's a tiny animal? Because if it's just all tusk, I don't know if that's gonna.
It builds a giant house out of shells.
Oh, it could. Maybe that's how it makes its home when there's no caves.
Wait,
That's-
what if the tusks only come out in the moonlight and that's why it's a
Oh.
mouse werewolf?
Oh.
Only at night.
Tiny animal, giant tusks. I'm thinking if it's only out to moonlight, it would need some place to go, so like during the sunlight. So the house of shells, I mean, that makes sense for what you have so far. But, yes, we want to make this so overpowered. Here we go. Morgan is saying he likes the moonlight tusks. What do
Thank
we
you,
Okay.
think?
Morgan.
But they would have to be like, so he's a herbivore, so his tusk could be for like
They're
big-
defensive,
Mm-hmm.
or for mating rituals.
Or
Also,
like
I added the
those
tusks, and
deer
frankly,
that
they're
have
pretty
the
cute.
fangs that come
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So whiskers and tusks.
Oh, thank you for reminding me about the whiskers.
Okay,
Oh my
and
gosh.
Katie, pick a number from 1 to 12, and you know what 10 does. So
The hell is a sea lion?
9.
Oh, yeah, guys.
9. Oh wait, that's me. Well, let's see. 12, 11, 10, 9. It has an ink expulsion.
Ooh,
So-
that's fun.
Okay.
Like a squid.
Yes.
So
From
perfect for
where,
the
though?
water.
It's
The
butt.
tusks.
That was my question. From
That
where?
was inevitable.
Maybe it's got like a little pouch inside of itself.
Oh, from
and
the
it just
tusks.
kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or from its webbed armpits.
Armpits?
The web.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Inky armpits. Okay.
All right.
This
Quick
poor
flap.
little aquatic mouse. Do we know what color it is? Did we decide on a color?
We did
We
not.
not
We'll do that
Okay.
towards the end. So, where are we going for the ink expulsion? Where does it come from? We've mentioned
It's
several-
between tusks and armpits.
Ooh. Well, this is your guys' creature, so you got to tell me.
I kind of
Well,
like
what
the
does
tusks.
the ink do? What does the ink do? Because like if the ink is venomous, if it came from the tusks, then you know, if you survive, you've got a nice little tattoo. If you don't survive, you know,
Oh
you've
my
been
gosh.
killed by a sea lion mouse.
Maybe it's super acidic, and that's how it dissolves, like the rock around the coral, to build on its giant shell house.
Acidic.
I'm just throwing out ideas, but it's your monster.
Okay.
Just annoys them.
So, have we come to a conclusion on this, tusks or armpits?
I like tusks.
I like tusks.
Yeah, I'm leaning tusks.
Oh, sorry.
Seems like a more reliable delivery method.
Only at night.
Only at night.
So it's out in the moonlight and it does the ink so it can't see anyway. It really doesn't make much sense. But then it has sonic ability, so
It does.
Yeah, there you go. Hey.
It's fine.
Those come from the armpits. The sonic armpits.
Fantastic.
Oh, I thought you meant the additional legs. I was like, oh yeah, so it just sprouts additional legs.
Okay. Nothing else to add? We can move on to the next two monkey wrenches.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So those are kind of easy. Let's hope we get something really to stymie you here. RK, 1
Oh,
to
God.
12.
Sorry, which one am I picking?
You don't get to know. You have to pick a number and then I tell you what it is.
Oh, I like number 6.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, this is not going to hurt you too bad. It's solitary.
Aw.
Oh, it has no friends. That means I don't have to draw more, so that's like fine.
And you get to pick the fourth monkey wrench. 1 to 12.
Let's go with 3.
2, 3. I like this.
What?
A peacock like this.
Aw, so it has colors.
What if the webbed underarms are like iridescent?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Or it has like eyes on the underside, so it just, I don't know.
It
Fun
well, if it
design.
has a shell, can the shell be like colorful?
Oh.
Sure. Does it live in the shell what fiddler crabs? Is that the ones that
Hermit crabs.
hermit crabs? That's what I'm looking
So
for.
I don't know. I was originally thinking it just finds shells just for fun. Like, it's,
Oh.
this
The
is
shell
a good
collector.
shell collector. Like those birds that collect those fun, bright colored objects and just
Crows?
hoards them. Yeah, there's also like a rainforest bird. It'll just like collect all these items and build it into its nest. I don't know what it's called.
Where did we say this thing
Maybe
has
it occasionally wears them as hats.
It's solitary, so who's gonna make fun of it?
It has webbed paws and webbed armpits. Is that the only place it has webbing?
I think that's the only place we talked about it having webbing.
There was like a fin on the tail. That could be iridescent too, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it usually keeps its tail curled up, and then it can like open its tail. You know.
Ah.
So I was thinking, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm just the record keeper here. I was thinking, like, flying squirrel has the membrane between the front and back legs. Is that what we're talking about when we say webbing?
I think so.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah. God damn, I don't know how to draw iridescence. See if I remember how to do it. I have a character who was iridescent freckles, and that was kind of a nightmare. I was like, why did I write that? Why did I do that? That was unfair of me.
Okay. So Roy didn't give you too much there to work with. So now it's up to me. Do you want me to roll first and pick second, or vice versa?
Roll first.
Roll first. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I don't like that.
This is ominous.
Watch it explode on impact.
Goes berserk when feet.
Okay. I mean, fair. That's
all right.
valid.
Seaweed everywhere.
And then I get the last one here. We've done naturally aggressive before.
This is why it's solitary.
Doesn't make much sense. Okay, so I didn't know how to describe this, so I'm going to give you a nice one here. I put it down as liquefying skin. It's like, how like octopus, they don't have any bones, so they can like squeeze into cracks.
Oh, yeah.
So I almost like boneless, I'll put it.
Okay. So he can squeeze into very tiny spots.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now
like
I'm
rats.
seeing him as being like really slippery too.
Yeah.
Does he have like scales or fur, or
was it like seal-like skin?
Yeah,
like that kind of slippery.
Oh, it's like really smooth. Yeah.
So it's like it's fur, but in the water it gets, I don't know, slick.
And that helps it squeeze in places.
Okay. So those are all the monkey wrenches, which I actually did not push you too hard here, but that's okay. What does it look like? What is its coloration?
Let's see. We talked about iridescence.
Yeah, well, I thought was for the fins, but maybe the whole body. You tell me.
Could it start off as one color and then change color, like almost camouflage itself?
Like a octopus would.
Yeah, or like a cuttlefish, something like that.
Does it only change color in the moonlight?
Ooh.
Or
it could.
like, what if normally it's the same color as the rocks, but when it comes out in the moonlight, so if you were going to catch one, you'd have to catch it in the moonlight because that's the only time you can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
So did we decide that the ink is venomous? Is that its defense
I
mechanism?
don't think we ever decided.
No, I don't think we did. I thought it was more like squid ink, where it's just like it conceals, or like it blinds the predator so they can get away.
In the tidal pool, it's going to get away.
Yeah.
I mean, it has legs. It can get out and run.
True.
Get in a different tidal pool.
Get in a different tidal pool, head for the ocean. Who knows what it wants to do? That's where the seashells come in.
That's right, the seashells. I got a drum. Okay.
Yeah.
Just hide in one of those.
It just hides under one of the many seashells, and then it's like that cup game where you can't find the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So is this essentially a mouse? Is that what we went with?
Mouse, frog, sea lion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Simple.
Oh wait, did we say iridescent in the moonlight, or just changes colors in the moonlight? Because I know the fins are iridescent.
What if it's like a silvery white color in the moonlight, and that's why it's easier to see?
Okay.
And then it kind of shows off its iridescent armpits, and it's really a beautiful seal frog mouse.
And then it blasts you with ink.
Yeah. And it's the last thing you see for a while.
Okay.
So if it has a sonic ability, does that mean it like can screech really loud? Does it make a noise? Like
I would think so, right?
I would give it that ability.
And boneless.
Wait, is this mouse actually responsible for like 80% of the siren myths?
It could be.
So boneless with tusks is unique. Morgan is saying, is it otter-like? But I think it's too small for that.
Well, I think otter-like in the sense like it's maybe long.
And floppy.
And floppy.
Okay. I have to put that in.
Long and floppy mouse. Frog.
Sea otter. Sea lion.
Oh, like a ferret almost, too, where they're just kind of...
Yeah.
They're noodle-like.
Yeah.
Gives it more aerodynamicness in the water.
Okay. So it's silvery white in the moonlight with iridescent fins. It has tusks, but it's boneless, so it can squeeze into cracks. It likes to hide in shells. It has whiskers, of course.
Naturally.
Web calls. It eats coral and seaweed in tidal pools with big ears, sonic abilities, and really big eyes. Do we want to say that what the eyes and ears are good for and sonic ability? Do you want to go into what they do? Or why
I figured the
it?
ears for like kind of like bat ears where it can pick up on sounds a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, because it lives on land too. So yeah, the bat ears would be helpful for hearing predators.
It's really usually loud near the tide pools anyway, like with the ocean waves, so its ears can distinguish like the sound of a predator coming over the sound of the surf.
Mm-hmm.
And see, now I'm thinking they can move like opposite of each other, so they can have them different ways, almost like satellite dishes.
Kind of like a cat. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the really big eyes. I mean, it's only out in the moonlight, so.
Yeah, better to see at night. Or if it's diving into the ocean sometime at night, if it wants to go further out.
Mm-hmm.
So it has like the membranes, I'm guessing, that go over top the eye to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I think that's where the sea lion came in, because it has big eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have the lifestyle description here. So food source is going to be coral and seaweed, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does it move? I guess it walks and or swims, right?
Yes.
Okay, how does it get its food?
Just goes around to the tide pools collecting
it scavenges in the tide pools.
Okay. Scavenger. When does it sleep? I'm guessing during the day?
Anytime the moon's not out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, does its nest, lair, home, what is it? Is it just that seashell that it finds in the tidal pool, or does it have a permanent place?
I like kind of both, like maybe regularly like holes in rocks kind of on the shore, but then if it needs a quick place to hide, then it will use a shell or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, social structure, well, it's solitary.
Solitary.
I'm guessing it doesn't have a language.
I mean, screeching, if that's a language.
Screeches.
Clicks and screeches.
Yeah.
Okay, I think if I heard something screeching from a tidal pool, I'd just about run. But hey, No, Morgan, it has enough. We're not giving it telepathy. What is the biggest threat that this creature has?
Probably seagulls.
Mermaids.
Yeah, I was gonna say some kind of bird.
Large crabs.
But
Large.
if it's only out at the moonlight, though, are the birds going to be out to get it? I mean,
You got like night
Nocturnal
birds.
seagulls.
We're making
Wait,
two
don't write
animals.
that. Don't write that. No.
What about mermaids that want to catch them and keep them as pets?
ooh,
That too.
Oh.
Probably anything larger than it.
I feel like if it's in the tide pools, it's mostly going to be fighting crabs and octopuses and other like creatures that tend to get caught in the tide pools.
Right.
And then, of course, anybody who's trying to harvest the ink, who would probably do that by creating fake tide pools out of holy water and throwing their favorite seaweed in it.
Oh. So
okay,
sad.
and
I'm not suggesting it.
Or you bless the tide pool when you find one.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I guess that'd be easier.
Either
that
one
makes the
works.
whole
It
holy
depends on
water
who's
thing,
hunting.
really bad. If they're just in a tidal pool. How long do these things live?
I want to
No
be
way
fun.
they live that long.
Oh man, it would be fun if it lived like 30 years.
I like that.
It never dies. It's fed.
It's doomed to its own existence.
I feel like you wouldn't measure it in years. You would measure it in moon cycles.
Oh, that'd be so sad. It lived 28 days.
Oh no.
Many moon cycles.
So on the new moon is when it dies because there's no moon. Is what you're saying?
Wow. So
No,
I don't know.
no.
That'd be terrible.
No, like what about like a bigger cycle of the moon, like an eclipse cycle, or
Ooh, I like
so
that.
many something like that. Like it's really long with dumb animals.
And then EL is saying, make it iridescent moonlight to tempt creatures to the tide pools. They can be poisoned and then feed the kelp beds with their bodies.
I feel like it's giving it too much credit.
If you've
Maybe
ever
it's
read
very
EL's work,
Is that
so
making
you
it too
understand.
competent?
I don't know. I kind of like it, but that may make it too powerful. So then we would have to make it not live
How
very
dare
long.
this mouse frog sea lion become too powerful?
I mean, you did say this is the source of all the siren tales, so you know.
It's just a bunch. See, and if they lived in packs, then they
that's
could have
true.
formed a giant mermaid. But since they live alone,
What if they only get born during eclipses?
oh,
So like what if they lay eggs? We're gonna add this into it now.
I mean, so yeah, like a platypus.
They lay eggs and they can only mate during an eclipse. But you have to lay the eggs and die before the moon comes back out. And
So
then
it's like
you have
salmon. Okay, so it's like a
Yeah.
platypus and salmon spawning. You have
Wow.
Exactly.
certain time
Wow.
to do this. Oh.
My layers are so messed up right now.
Can't wait to see
To
the
be fair, we
drawing.
keep changing things.
So how long is it usually between eclipses?
We're gonna have to Google that 1 second.
It depends on like the eclipse. Aren't there like multiple?
It's very irregular, so you probably got
So is it lunar
4
eclipse or
years.
solar eclipse?
Lunar, I would think.
I'm
Lunar.
assuming lunar.
It says 1 to 2 times a year on average.
Oh,
But it
so
can be
up
up to 5. It can be up to 5 though.
But they're not going to be at the same location on the planet, so it's going to be
Right.
years between.
Right.
Yeah, it has to happen like full lunar eclipse in their habitat.
So are tusked frog eggs tasty is what EL wants to know.
I'd imagine
crunchy.
it tastes salty, like salmon roe or
Ooh.
something.
Which probably means that it's like probably kind of tasty or like an acquired taste.
Probably.
Like squid ink. Like
Mm.
you know, they make like squid ink
Oh.
noodles and stuff.
Yeah. Dan likes them poached. Squid food? Hey? I have questions, Dan.
Okay, so lifespan, we're going to go irregular.
Based on the lunar eclipse.
Mm-hmm. And their ability to find a mate in the time that they realize that there's a lunar eclipse coming, since they're so soft.
That's why they screech and they go berserk when they eat.
I guess that's where the screeching comes in. Yes.
Okay, now I'm doubly staying away from beaches at night. Okay, and we need a name for this creature.
Oh, gracious.
The moon mouse.
Moon mouse?
Moon mouse!
I like that.
Loon mouse?
Loon mouse?
Moon.
Loon or moon?
Moon.
Oh, I thought you said loon. Like
or loon, or lunar, or something.
Moon
I like moon mouse.
Is that the common name?
Okay, so we'll put this in quotes. Okay, so we have a mouse-like creature that's kind of elongated like a ferret or an otter that is white and silvery in the moonlight with iridescent fins, which are on its paws, also like a flying squirrel between its arms and legs and on its tail.
Morgan.
Pretty cute.
That's its scientific name.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Andrew's.
Moonspire?
Moonspire, that's fun. Though maybe a little fancy for our mouse.
Yeah.
So it has
It's
whiskers.
legendary name.
It has hollow tusks that have ink that it expels for fun. Changes colors in the moonlight. Long and floppy. Mates at lunar eclipses. Lives in tide pools. Big eyes, big ears. Eats coral seaweed. Yeah.
What about moon shrew?
Moon shrew?
Moon shrew.
I like that.
I do like that, actually.
Let's see. We got some other ones here. We have Cosmouse, Moon Squeakers,
What?
Moon squeakers!
and EO is just
Where did I
a
put
strong mouse.
The tusked frog mouse.
So the Latin name for mouse is just moose or whatever. It's M-U-S.
Oh,
So if we did like loon moose, that just sounds like it'd be fun.
like Moon Moon. I really like Moon Squeaker.
I mean, that would be what it would be the most known for, is the screeching. It, you know.
Yeah, it's like regional names.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with that then. Okay, we have our little creature then. So that pretty much keeps this part. So now the code phrase. Jackie, what are you reading?
What am I reading? I am reading an advanced copy of a book called Discovery that was written by the Mintons. If you're familiar with the Mintons, they have the Talking Story channel. It's John, Amy, and their son. Yeah, and it's very, very good. It's kind of a mix of urban fantasy and horror and mystery. It takes place in the early 90s, so that's kind of a cool, kind of a retro feeling to it as well. So I've been really enjoying that. That comes out later in the spring of this year, I believe.
That kind of kills me when you said 90s or retro, but okay.
Can you believe it? They are.
It's a bummer.
It is a bummer.
I was talking to people at work. I'm like, the 90s, that was 15 years ago. And they're like, no, do that. I'm like, no, you divide by 2. The 80s were 20 years ago.
I keep thinking 2000 was 15 years ago. I'm like, yeah, it was not that long ago. And people are like, no. I have finished my drawing. If you would like to see my rendition of the Moon Squeaker.
Do you see them?
Let me see if I can present. And let me see if it will share screen. Works best on a good computer. Yeah, thanks.
probably window.
Window. Hold on. I just have to. Now. Okay. It's on my Cintiq, so I just have to pull it over. Get over here. Get over here. There we go.
Anticipation. Oh my.
Sorry. Okay. Did it work? Can you see it?
We cannot see it.
Okay, I must have accidentally clicked out. Oh, I have to go into permissions. Mike, can I email you a photo of this and you can present it?
Sure.
Okay. Give me a hot second.
Author Mike Molman at Gmail.
Any dots or underscores?
No.
All right. Mike, Mollman.
Right.
You got it. Oh, there we go. Mouse squeaker.
So, Katie, what are you reading?
I'm reading multiple books. So currently the ones that I'm going through fastest, The Way of the Dawn by Philip Chase. And then I have an art copy of Blood of the Kami by Baptiste Wu. So.
Nice.
Supposed to hopefully get through those. We'll see.
Nice.
So, let's see when it comes through. Okay, well, while we're waiting for the email, RK, what are you reading?
I am currently reading an arc of The Night Auction by Lila Mary, which I think is going to come out in March. And then after that, I've got Sorcery and Small Magics by Micah Ducey. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the author's name right, but I'm very excited about that one.
Okay, where did you go? Oh, there it is. Okay, let me see this. I like the mouse.
Yay, Mike likes it.
Share screen. Well, I like really bizarre things, so.
Not the spray bottle.
Oh, it's adorable.
I love it.
Yeah. That's great.
You got the fins.
I love the
eyes.
fin tail. Yeah.
Nice.
The bloodshot eyes are doing it. But...
Well, because it said it goes berserk when it eats, right? And I was like, well, I already drew it eating.
That is incredible.
That is awesome. I don't know. I think that should go into Morgan's book. That should make the cover of Morgan's book.
I want one, actually.
Yeah, the bottle with. Hi, Ryan. The bottle with this cool.
Hi, Ryan.
Yeah. This really fits Morgan's aesthetic.
That's great.
Labeled.
The eyes, yes. The upward tusks, which is where it doesn't it kind of blind itself then if it does the ink out of the.
That's why it's got the little. It's got the eye.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, that's right. It's got
like the third membrane.
Oh, the eye flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the ears go over its eyes.
Oh,
We never said evolution treated this thing all that well.
Oh, that is glorious. Okay, so what are you reading?
Okay, let's see. I just finished reading Mort by Terry Pratchett for the first time, which was an absolute pleasure. I am about to start Kel Cade's latest installation in the King's Dark Tidings series, which I really enjoy. I've been reading that, and she was one of my early inspirations in self-publishing. And then I'm buddy reading Spin the Dawn with my niece by Elizabeth Lim. It's like Mulan meets like fashion designing shows. So basically this girl has to become a tailor, but she has to pretend to be a guy. And yeah, it's full of magic and stuff. So those are 3 I'm working on right now, but also trying to write my projects.
So I am feverishly looking because I'm reading and I can't remember. That's it. Joshua Scott Edwards, The Ocean of Others. Whew. I know we just interviewed him, so I was like, let me go back and find. I can't think of his name or the title of his book. I'm reading that, and I'm reading The Tenacious Tale of Tana the Tender Sword, which I can tell you after 2 pages, I was like, oh my God, when I grow up, I want to be Gilliford.
Oh,
That's
He,
very fun.
yeah, he is my spirit animal now. I want to grow up to be just as grumpy and talking under my breath as much as he does. So
Those are good goals, achievable goals.
I tell people I'm a failed hermit now because I have the channel, but
so you're
let's
not
see.
like the moon squeaker.
Solitary moon squeaker.
That's the goal. I mean, the idea of having ink so I could like throw it in someone's face and run away, that is very appealing.
Just break a bunch of pens and just throw them.
Excuse me, why I do this? Just stand there.
Do you think they ever like nervous ink on accident?
Maybe when they're finding a mate.
Isn't it like in like
that'd be
Finding
awkward.
Nemo where like the little guy goes like, "Oh, you made me ink."
Yeah. And says it just like that. That's its language.
Oh, so Jacqueline, when is the next book by Jacqueline Hagan going to be out?
Oh goodness. I am anticipating late this year, so like November, December is what I'm shooting for book 5.
Nice.
This is 5 of 5, right?
This is 5 of 7.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot it was that long.
Was it supposed
so
to be like
impressive.
3 books or 5 books and it just grew, or was it always 7?
It just kept growing. I mean, the characters just they pop up one day and go, "Oh, hey, and this happened." You go, "No, don't! What are you doing?" And I mean, before you know it, you're in the middle of you're book 5 of the 7-book series. But I'm putting my foot down. 7 will be the max. It will not be more than 7. But my goal is to finish the next 3 in the series and finish the series within the next 3 years if I can manage it. So that means a lot of ignoring social media and keeping my head down and working every spare moment that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie, how about you? When is the next Yeehaw Dragons coming out? That's what I need to know.
That's a good question. After I put out the sequel to my trilogy, which is what I've been saying for the past 4 years. So it will hopefully, most likely, should come out this year, end of this year. I just keep getting editing projects, so I'm like, oh, cool, I get to not do my own revisions. So if I finish those up and stay off of social media, then I should be finished with this round of revisions.
And what is the next book coming out? Is that The Grins and Secrets?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this would be Women of Steel and Scars. And then maybe I'll sprinkle some short stories throughout the year just so I feel accomplished that I've gotten something else out. And I would like to start the draft for Yeehaw Dragons #2, but we'll see.
So I want to tell you, I am full on blaming you. Because
I'll take blame again today.
Because when I saw that you're like, I'm going to do Yeehaw Dragons, it's going to be a novella series, I'm like, I'm an indie author. There are no rules. I can do a novella series completely. So now I have the Proxima Centauri series, where the 5 aliens are all based on idiosyncrasies from the 5 dogs that I've had.
Nice.
So therefore I can't kill any of the aliens. So it's going to have to be cozy because I can't kill one of my dogs.
Right.
And I'm like, they're going to be novellas, and I'm currently sitting at, I think I'm going to write 12. And I never would have had this idea had I not seen Yeehaw Dragons, and it's like, a novella series. So I blame you. I'm now writing the sequel to my second book and the first of the Proxima Centauri series. I'm trying to get 2 books and 2 novellas out this year, and I will not do that, but I will drive myself nuts trying.
That's a lot.
You probably will finish your series before me, but that's fine. So
this
is because I start. Well, yes, me too. Because now I've started 2 series. So here we are with just 1 book in each.
Well, my fantasy series, I published book 4 last January, and I'm like, well, next January maybe I can start writing book 5. So after 2 years, I'll write the 5th book in the 7-book series. And like Jackie, I'm holding the line. It's going to be 7, no more. So RK, how about you? What book is coming out with RK Ashwick's name on it that we can look forward to?
Yeah, I am trying to wrap those series this year. So that would be book 3 of the Loot Song series coming out in May, and then book 3 of the Side Quest Row series coming out in October. And then I'm also part of 2 unannounced anthologies, so I don't know if those will be coming out this year or not, but that would be cool because I'm very excited about them. And then, yeah, not sure what's after that. So we'll see.
And by the way, Dan is my brother, so don't pay attention. I never do.
I always say that my series will come out somewhere between George R.R. Martin and a Rothfuss. So it's somewhere in there.
It's a really safe bet.
Yeah, and you keep getting more and more time as every year goes by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And last but not least, when can we expect new When Raven material?
All right, so I'm working on finishing up my series because I'm the type I have to finish one thing before I move on to the others. So it's going to be Return of the Void, which is the final book in the 3-part series. It is formed, outlined, but not fleshed out yet. So it's going to be I'm giving myself some time because I really want to wrap things up nicely, and shooting for 2026 release of that. So just read the first 2 books a couple times. They're long.
Is anybody besides me scared of doing the final book in their series? Like, I have to make this work. So I'm petrified. I'm like, do I want to finish? I kind of understand good old George R.R. Martin now.
I mean, I'm scared to put out a sequel, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm also scared of my last book. I'm like, cool. So if the sequel doesn't do well, then here we go.
Well, to
It's
be
scary,
fair, it
but
also
at the same
feels
time,
like
I'm like, oh no, go ahead, Gwen.
Oh, I was just saying, it feels like saying goodbye to your characters and your world too. So I think there's a part that doesn't want to step away from the characters and the world that you become really attached to by saying, okay, it's the end of your story. I'm going to leave you behind. But I guess that's where little novellas come in.
Do you all remember what happened, or when you write your book, do you have to be like, oh, now I have to go back and reread everything to make sure that I'm consistent, or do you have a decent memory? I'm old. I have no memory. So,
I have a copy of book 1 that I am going back to. I have like the map. I'm like, where are we? I have my calendar for series timeline, and I have my alpha list from book 1. So that's helping me. But I also am like, did I remember anyone's eye color? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't give anyone eye color, because I'm like, they will have 4 different color eyes, so I leave it up to the reader to determine what color eyes they have. I will never remember that, and if I do, I'll never know where I put it, so I'll have to reread the whole book to find it. So, yeah, I could take notes or something, but I haven't started doing that yet, so.
If I ever forget anything, I just ask my son or my husband, because they're my continuity people. They'll correct me if I get it wrong. So
That's awesome.
I've been begging them to just make a database for me because I can't keep it all straight. I'm busy coming up with new stuff.
I'm just going on the readers to tell me I got it wrong, because that sounds like a strong strategy there. So, but hey, if you care that much, kudos to you. You know it better than I do. Jackie, how about you? Are you afraid of book 7?
Terrified. Yeah. There's a lot. Like Gwen said, it feels like you're saying goodbye to people you've been hanging out with for a long time and gotten to know very well. It's. I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, people on the outside will think, oh, they're just fictional characters. They feel so much. They're so much more important than just fictional characters, and there's a lot of psychology involved and emotions and so much. So not only are you worried about pleasing, telling a good story and pleasing the readers and and delivering on that side. Yeah, there's so much going on internally and emotionally, and so I am definitely committed to finishing. I'm not going to pull a George R. Martin, but there's an amount of dread there as well.
See, my series is going to end in a cataclysmic battle, and I'm like, you're going to die, and you're going to die, and you're going to. So I will say that to them. I'll be like, no, there will be no sequels. There's no one left standing.
Incredible. I'm excited to be, I mean, maybe I'm the only one, but I'm both like, the Lute Song series has been so hard to write that I'm like, oh my God, I just need to finish it. And then also I know, like, I have project ideas for once I wrap those series, so I'm excited to write those, but I know I can't get to those until I finish these. So there's something to look forward to. But I think when I get to the end of SideQuest Row, so like saying goodbye to Ambrose and Eli, that's going to be much more difficult. I'm much closer to them, and so that'll be kind of upsetty spaghetti for me.
So do you all know what you're going to write next once you're through with this? Like for me, there are 18 books I want to write and 17, and I'm in my 50s, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting to them all, but we'll see. But how about y'all? Do you have like ideas like this would be a good book?
Yeah, pretty much. I actually had an idea for one last month, and I was like, we can't do this. We'll just make the soundtrack for it. So when we do decide to do it, it's already there. But yeah, I have a folder full of like ideas. It's bad.
That is very fun. I got just 2 ideas.
You can borrow some of mine.
No, thanks.
I'll pass.
I don't need more. I don't need to be plagued by more than the characters already like banging on the door in my head. I'm like, no, not yet.
So who's going to work the Moon Squeaker into one of their current series?
Sounds like Morgan.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Morgan pretty much claimed it, so.
We did all the work, and then Morgan's like, I'll take that.
We should all do it. We all have rights. We should all sneak it in all of our series.
I have 2 books I could sneak it into.
Cameo.
Yeah.
In book 3 of SideQuest, I could very easily sneak it in, just as a mention, because there's like a forest that some characters are going into, and like, you know, I don't know, maybe they just need something called the Moon Squeaker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just taking a nice walk on the beach and they hear this weird shrieking noise, and that's all you know.
Yeah, it's a Moon Squeaker.
That was just Moon Squeaker.
Ooh.
Don't worry about it.
Short story from Morgan.
Short story shows up at, because I want to read it. Oh, so anyway, yeah, I really don't plan much. Anything else? Shared universe. Everyone's stories. It's a shared universe.
We literally on our Discord, we've talked about that before. Something to do with like time travel.
Maybe the Moon Squeaker is the key. Like that's how you know you're in a shared universe, because it's the only thing that carries over.
If it shows up in the dripping bucket, then it is definitely just bringing all the worlds together.
Yep.
Nice. I like it. Awesome. And then you have to use this original art from RK.
Can we see that again? Can we see that
I'm
again?
sure your cover artist
Kickstarter
did something
edition.
so much better.
You gotta post a copy in our chat.
I will.
Oh my gosh.
We need to see this again.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was so cute. Why is it? That's like me at 3 a.m. when I'm trying to meet a deadline and I'm eating some ramen. Like,
And this is the mouse squeaker at 3 a.m. eating some seaweed,
yeah.
living his best life.
Clayton's woodcutter is the world.
Being threatened by a spray bottle.
Being threatened by holy water, yeah.
Oh, I'm guessing they just dump that into the tidal pool, and that's how they, catch the Moon Squeaker.
No, they gotta like spray him as they're hopping out of the rocks.
Oh, okay.
Gotta make it a challenge.
It's like cockroach spray.
Especially if it's in the Nerf gun too. You're like having to shoot it.
Yeah. Where's the sense of adventure in hunting the Moon Squeaker?
You know, your mom knows you've been out Moon Squeaker hunting because you've been inked.
Yeah. Doesn't wash out for days.
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, ladies, thank you for this. This was one of the more interesting ones. More than once it is a pet. So yeah, I am excited to get this to
Soundproof
my.
cage, Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. So thank you again for this. Any parting words? Anything you want to tell us about that's going on that I didn't mention?
No. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you for
Yeah.
having us, Mike.
So this is how I'm going to try to do it this year. I'm going to ask like one person, can you get 3 friends to come with you? Because that way I don't have to try to get all the schedules. I'm basically throwing it off on the one person, which was Katie this time. Thank you,
Thank
Katie.
you, Katie.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Katie.
You're welcome.
So, but yes, if you want to have a gang of friends and do this, I'm always up for ridiculousness. And this way I don't have to write and I'm working. So, I have an excuse.
That was fun.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. It's time to wave awkwardly.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.